Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Knights of the Alternate Histories. In today's video, we're going to be wrapping up and concluding the mega series we had of What If the Confederates Won the Civil War. Now this is part 5, make sure to like and subscribe. The channel recently hit 300, which I'm happy for. Not going to do a subscriber special though, I'm waiting for 500 for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video and make sure to leave a comment down below. We left off right before World War II was going to begin, with syndicalism now on the rise, and Austria-Hungary divided into Czechoslovakia, I can't speak, the Slav Republic, the Gypsy Republic, Bosnia, and the United States of Austria-Hungary and Croatia, as well as a small Serbian state, with Bulgaria looking to annex it, and syndicalism on the rise, mainly in France, England, and many minor countries as well. Germany still had its puppet states surrounding it, but they were not as effective, and syndicalism keeps on rising, threatening the German central powers that take up the majority of Europe, and the syndicalist countries wants their land back, and is ready to do pretty much anything to accomplish this. As well as the US annexing most of Canada and Missouri, making the Missouri Compromise line truly the border, and with John J. Pershing being the new Confederate leader, Mexico losing a lot of land, including the Yucatan Peninsula, even though they were part of the Entente, making themselves go syndicalist, and the Confederates forming a new group, not fascism, but fascism in our world, preparing to destroy. As well, both nations would have to fight two different rebellions. The USA mainly fighting off Canadian rebellions, and the Confederates fighting off Caribbean rebellions. This would just be horrible, and the Canadians would have to retreat up north, and the Caribbeans having to retreat more. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word. The war would break out by France declaring war on Germany, and the factions do look messy, I know, but Germany would quickly get a harsh hit on their border, even though they did build up forts, mainly the Maginot Line that France once had, and the USSR would cut deep into Poland, Czechoslovakia, and the Slav Republic. With Austria-Hungary already being incompetent, and now being broken up would hurt them even more, though since they would be more effective, because now they're dealing with manageable armies, this would be an advantage to them, though the German Iron Wall would start to falter, as it would get pushed in from both north and south, and west and east. The Greek rebellion against the powers would quickly be lost, and the Ottoman Emperor would pull out of the war. Italy would cut deep into Austrian territory and connect the front lines of the Western Front together. Meanwhile, Britain would still be going on, losing more and more land, and Poland, Latvia, and Lithuania and Estonia would almost be crushed. Italy would now try and move down the coastline. The Netherlands would make one big last defense, and London would start being sieged. Germany now losing all of its puppet states, and really only having one strong ally left being Bulgaria, and being barely connected, would start panicking and trying to see how they could get out of the situation, still remaining independent, but not being syndicalist. The siege of London would fail, and Wales would grant its independence, Britain would become a democracy again, and Scotland would take more land. Meanwhile, Germany, now seeing the Kaiser, would look to flee, and a lot of territories would see themselves as renewed by the rebellions of the syndicalists that have come to save them. And Germany would lose more and more supporters as the war continues on. Bulgaria would quickly send some men in to give one last huge push against the Soviets and the Syndicalists, and this would be rather effective, causing Bulgaria to keep its borderline and to allow the Ottoman Empire to keep their borderline. Though Germany would gain a lot of land and a new front line, with Bulgaria now pulling out of the war, they would not have the men they would need to impose this and would quickly have to retreat. With the Red Army now being on the outskirts of Berlin, and also Prague and Vienna, all three monarchs would quickly flee to the northern countries, mainly Sweden, as they had close allianships there, and would work together better. The German armies would get discouraged now, seeing that their leaders have all but abandoned them, and would quickly surrender or not try that. Austria would be the first to fall, and now Germany would have its orders to fight till its last by the minister at this time. And the German soldiers would take this to heart and fight to their last, knowing that their minister didn't abandon them, unlike their cowardly king Wilhelm III, and would keep on fighting to the last. The Syndicalists would see this as an opportunity and would crush them thoroughly. Next, Prague would be left in a siege, half of the city taken and half of it's not. Meanwhile, Germany would now be frozen, waiting to get divided, and the last of the soldiers would start surrendering, not wanting to destroy the beautiful city of Berlin and to stop the fighting in Prague. They would be forced to sign a peace deal that would be humiliating to them. Italy would gain a lot of land, as well as the Soviet Union, who would annex some German territories, as well as its puppet states. The Slav Republic would grow, annexing Romania and a couple of other territories, and Italy would gain a lot of Austria and a lot of Croatia. Czechia, for its noble defense, would also continue it. Belgium would unite its territories, and Belgium would make a Benelux utopia. Germany would also become syndicalist and be occupied by both the Red Army and France, who would take more land than just Alsace-Lorraine. Meanwhile, the Confederates would invade, thinking, one last time, we got this, we're the best. But they weren't the best, as the Union, who has now had its troops hardened by the Canadian rebellions, and knowing that the Confederates would most likely try to invade again, would swoop in to crush their armies. Without having the same military might and strategy as generals beforehand, the Confederates would get pushed back. Richmond would fall in a year, and by the second year, they would have lost 3 more capitals, and the land in Mexico would start seeing some form of independence. But the Union would continue crushing, trying to take as much land as possible, and deciding to make it so that the Union is once again whole, crush their enemies down to their bitter core, so that they may reunite the Union once more. Once again, the Confederates just couldn't win a battle without having the same strategy as Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee, or John J. Pershing, all now presidents. And as for John J. Pershing, with Union troops right outside of his house, well, for demonetization's sakes, let's just say he didn't flee. And the Union would effectively win the war with his death. The USA would take a lot of land, including Cuba and the Bahamas, though leaving a lot of territory independent as not wanting to fight rebellions, with rebellions still in Canada, and making a nice, good little puppet state of United Caribbean. Meanwhile, Mexico would still feel jealous of the land, but they wouldn't declare war on the Union and would most likely end up joining them. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you truly enjoyed this video, and if I should do another mega series. This was truly fun to make. I'm excited for 300 subscribers. I don't really know what to say in it. maybe I could do a part 7 mega series where I go into the Cold War and modern day. Let me know if you would be interested in that. Um, Thank you all for watching and have a good one. Wow, what a great video. As we look on the last time we'll see this battle, make sure to check the video out on the left, which is my most recent upload, and on the right, well, that's a video YouTube thinks you should watch. So, why not? You think YouTube's better than my choice? Yeah, sure.